Hi, I'm Jason Inman.
I'm Jay Washington.
And I'm Ashley Victoria Robinson.
And we're here to review Black Lightning Season 1, Episode 13, the finale, The Book of War. And if you haven't seen this finale episode of Black Lightning, you might want to come back later because there will be spoilers.
The aftermath of the showdown with Black Lightning leaves everyone reeling. Tobias gathers his forces.
Okay, we're going to walk our way through this episode, the final episode of Season 1 of Black Lightning. And my friends, I gotta tell you, this has been a spectacular season.
Yeah, it's been a great ride.
It's been a really great ride. I'm kind of sad it's over. But we start out this episode doing a little flashback, doing a little arrow thing.
Little Magneto-style flashback.
Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly what it is, yes.
We're in the rain. We get to see Jefferson's father. We get to see Gabby. I liked that we've seen his father in previous scenes, but we only got to see him kind of in his death scene against Tobias Whale. I liked that we start off this episode with a very good scene between his two fathers. What did you guys think about the first time getting to see this opening, the first time Jefferson gets powers, all this stuff?
I thought the scene between Alvin and Gabby was really, really interesting because you could see Jefferson's personalities at war with himself, and also just because we have two great, mature actors that we've never seen play against each other. So from that perspective, I thought it was nice. Every black and white scene in this episode, especially the final one that we're building to, is just a delight.
You see where he gets a lot of his influences from. Like, we knew he got a lot from his father, from Alvin. We know we get a lot from Gabby, but you see him come together. And then to see him where his powers manifest and when it happened with him being chased by police after a riot, after a young black man has been shot, and he's about to be beat by the police, and then his powers manifest, and he runs, and you see him run into a high-voltage gate, and he tries to climb it, and everybody thinks, oh, it shocks him. No, he just absorbs all of it and passes out. So I like the way they introed his abilities, because we've been talking about how he got his abilities all season. We finally see it, so that was great.
It was also nice that we get some Black Lightning villains finally name confirmed. We confirmed that Khalil is the Painkiller, which is a Black Lightning Comics villain. We confirmed that the lady is Cyanide, who's also a metahuman, except in the comic books he is a male with a purple suit.
And here she's a girl with weird white eyeliner on only one eye.
Let's talk about this. We went most of the season. We played this pretty realistic. Do we like that we are now introducing comic book supervillains with code names into this universe in the final episode of season 1?
I'm kind of cool with it. It works, but I hope we don't go too far with it.
Yeah.
Because if we go too far, then we take away from what this heart was in it. It was a realistic feel. You know, it was a grounded feel. Yeah, you had a Black Lightning. Yeah, you had a Thunder. You know, and you have Henderson, but he doesn't have a code name. So when you start giving Cyanide was Cyanide, it's like whatever. But when you start giving everybody code names, then it becomes, oh, now we have this superhero show directly. And I personally don't want it to go too far with naming everybody.
Yeah, I certainly don't need a character like Cisco to come in every week and be like, you're this, and you're this, and you're this.
Yeah.
I didn't mind seeing it in this episode because I feel like we've earned it over the course of seeing all of these characters develop. And I really felt like on the part of Tobias Whale giving out the names to his crew, that was him asserting his power and his dominance, particularly in his scene with Lala where he confirms that he's the Tattoo Man.
Yes, which is a prediction that I had, that he was the Tattoo Man, and we find out that he had spent $1 million on bringing Lala back, so we finally get confirmation about what Lala... let's talk about this. So in this finale, we don't know whether Lala's alive or not because Tobias Whale sends him in like a human grenade. I bet that Lala is alive. I don't think they would kill such a great character in this finale.
They probably can't kill him, I'm sorry.
I was going to say, I hope not. And I just want more scenes where Tobias is punching the ever-loving shit out of him.
Yes.
And he's just like, flies across the room. Like, every time we get to see Tobias being a badass, we got to Return to the Harpoon this episode.
Yes.
I live, and I guess to skip ahead and maybe spoil something a little bit, I'm really glad that he's going to be continuing beyond this finale episode.
What else I love, too, is Tobias basically checking the shit out of Lala because Lala tries to come in like he's tough, you know, everything. And Tobias lets him have his moment till he says, the devil deals the cards. And then Lala's just stuck like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this.
Let's talk about, there's a scene where we get to see all the ASA agents with Proctor, and they're in a very white room, and I was looking throughout this entire scene, and it's the scene where they introduce the Make America Great Again. Now, we're not going to talk about politics really that much, because, you know, we're talking about a superhero review show, but this show does touch on politics, and I thought it was very interesting. I noticed that we were in a very white room with white walls and a white counter, and as far as I could tell, all of the agents in that room were also white.
White or white passing.
Yeah.
The only black ASA agent that we know of is the vice principal.
Yes, yes.
So, and Proctor has turned out to be a very racist character from
But
the
I was-
moment.
Yeah, but I'm sorry to interrupt you. But I was mainly talking about just in that scene.
Oh, yeah, in that
especially
scene.
focusing around that speech
Oh,
that
yeah.
he was talking about and stuff like that. At first, 'cause I remember when we watched it, I asked you guys, I was like, do you think that's intentional? Or like, and you...
Jay immediately was like, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely, because it set up who Proctor's been the entire season.
Yeah.
You know, he would say things, and you were like, "Oh, he's definitely racist." And every time he would say things, and then you have him surrounded by white people in a white room with the white countertops and everything. That's his vision of everything.
I also think maybe he wants to be a dentist because they're lit by those sort of horrible bluish black lights the entire time. And look even more white.
Well, let's talk about something that's part white, but also part black, the black and white flashbacks that continue.
Love.
So we get two of them that I thought were very powerful in this episode, and they're kind of followed up. They're pretty close to each other. The first one is where we see Jefferson as a kid, and he has his kid and play haircut, and he walks in there, and we learn that his dad... The creed of Garfield High comes from his dad.
Yes.
The this is my life. I'm gonna take control of it. Yeah, I'm paraphrasing it very badly. But also, I love that moment. I thought it was really great. And then his dad's like, I gotta go back to work. Read the Constitution, Jefferson.
Jay, are you going to adopt that as a parent?
Hell no, I don't want to do. Let me tell you something. I remember taking the Constitution test in grammar school and I hate having to study it. I didn't ever read the full thing. For someone to say read the Constitution, that is the worst punishment.
That's a pretty bad punishment.
Like just read all the preamble, every single amendment.
Yeah. And then later in the episode, we get the proof that why Cress Williams is one of the strongest actors in this CW superhero universe. Because he walks down the stairs and he's fully grown and he sees his father. He says, I'm so sorry for not saving you. And then, of course, we get the superhero moment that we get in a lot of superhero stories. But you know what? I don't mind it here because both the actors in the scene I thought were very strong.
Tropes can work and tropes can still be good and interesting when they're well executed.
Yes. When you got great actors, great directors, it can be flawless.
And his dad saying the really strong line, I apologizing for leaving you. And I love the symbolism of the bright light from down the stairs. And, you know, his dad sort of gives him the permission to be like, no, you can be Black Lightning. It's okay. Being Black Lightning is not against me, which I thought was the true metaphor of this scene. Maybe this whole season.
I thought this scene was very interesting from a meta-narrative perspective because we've had so many scenes where Jefferson and Lynn are parenting their children, and now we get to see Jefferson return to that child role and get that same mentorship and
even
love.
as an adult.
Yes, as a, I don't know how old you are, you're too beautiful to be guest Cress Williams, but even as an adult man, he still needs that, and that's what helps him become his best self, and then ultimately try to sacrifice himself at the end.
Now, a lot of this episode takes place on this little ranch in the woods that Gambie has doomsday prepped the hell out of. There's one moment where he's like, okay, you're going to go out there, 10 feet out there, past the fake tree, there's a bunker. The palm reader will only work for one of your family. You go through this 300-foot tunnel. It leads you to a van that I always have full of gas and is always running.
It's ready. Just listen. Everything's set in line. How do I know? I planned this out for like 26 years ago.
He's Dale from King of the Hill, but with actual skill.
But how does he... The craziest part for me was it's programmed to all of you all's handprints. When did Gambie get everybody's hand?
He's just stealing their hairbrushes.
Gambie, I guarantee you, Gambie dresses up like the Shadow. He goes into their apartments while they're asleep. He brings the scanner, and then he sneaks out like a ninja. I guarantee you,
he puts their hand in some warm water before he goes.
and he tells Jefferson, I did it to save your family. Jefferson.
Just run.
Just run.
There was one part where they were deciding to face the Black Ops soldiers, and Gambie was like, your best opportunity is to just leave, is to just get out of here. And I thought for certain Gambie was going to be like Batman. He was like, okay, go to Star City. I have a house there. It's under the name of Jeff Smith. You'll use the handprint scanner at the front of the door. There's water along the way. I have 7 cars in different cities. Detroit, St. Louis, Houston.
All real cities except for Freeland.
Well, it's interesting because I kind of thought that was what was going to happen too, and that we were going to get the classic ending for the Peter Gambie character that we all know from Year One and more classic Black Lightning stories.
So we didn't get, and this is no spoilers for a story that came out in the 70s. In the original origin of Black Lightning,
don't tweet us.
Peter Gambie dies.
Yes.
Do we think Peter Gambie died, or do you like that he stayed alive? I personally like that he's alive for season 2. That James Remar is still in the show.
I like that because James Remar adds a lot to this show.
Yeah.
Yes.
I do think before the show ends, and I hope it goes 10 seasons, I think he will have to die
Oh, of
at
course.
some point.
Agreed.
He will have
Agreed.
to give himself up for these characters.
I was, after the reveal that he was once the scouter,
Yes.
I was like, shoot him in the face. That was literally my shoot him in the face. And then when he turned back around to help Jefferson and help the family, I was like, shoot him in the knee. And then, just went to the knee. Shoot him in the knee.
Slightly
And
injured. Give him a limp.
Give him a limp.
Give him a limp.
Now it's like, you know what? Just tase him every once in a while.
Give him a paper cut.
Just
Some
tase him every-
Lego on the floor.
Yeah, just every time he does something stupid, just so you know, like, I still ain't forgot. But James Remar brings so much to the element to this, where I think if you didn't have him, you may get tired of seeing just the four of them, of the Pierce
Yes.
family. So that extra added element helps out because we know how the family dynamic is. And Peter sees the dynamic, but also sees what's going on in the bigger picture. So I think having him there for another season, hopefully they don't just kill him off in season 2, adds so much more.
I don't know, they could kill him in season 2. He could be the Moira Queen character
He could,
of the series.
If he dies like Moira Queen died in Arrow, I think I would.
Sword through the back.
I would, man, look, if there's a sword, if he catches a harpoon through the heart,
Ooh.
I'm not gonna trust any bald head albino dude. I'm letting you know this right now.
All right, so I'd love to hear from you guys. There's a big old fight. Jefferson gets he has his powers gone. He gets repowered by his daughter Jennifer
Through the act of Wonder
through a
Twins.
super hug.
Man, and he had that look on like, well, hold on, where is going on? Oh Lord Jesus, get him off me, child.
So, what were some of your favorite moments during this giant infight? Because I felt everybody got a great moment. Jennifer uses her powers. Lynn uses a shotgun.
I love it. I love that Lynn, like this very proper, put together woman who is a doctor and a woman of intellect, is just like, give me the shotgun. I love that. And also, they react to Jennifer's reaction.
Yeah.
She was
During
lost.
that shot.
She was-
Ooh.
And that's really good. I enjoyed when Anissa got trapped in the lightning bubble.
Yes.
Yes.
Partially because you could tell that the actress was like, I don't really know how to fight a lightning
Yeah.
bubble. So I found that funny. But this is one of the only times we've actually seen Anissa be challenged.
Yeah.
So I hope that she's going to have to learn how to get out of these lightning bubbles, and that could be very cool.
And even in the previous episode, when Cyanide paid attention and realized when she went, whoop her ass now. Like, you're starting to see certain things that can incapacitate her. Like, we know what can incapacitate Jefferson. Now it's going to be interesting to see what can incapacitate Jennifer. And that was the part for me when she was hugging her mom and dude ran up and she just realized she can blast out.
Yeah.
Because that was the first time we've seen her actually blast out.
Yeah.
We've seen the electricity around her and her fry things, but never just directly take the blast out.
She had her little X-Men moment of high stress
Yes,
and
she did.
trauma.
Yeah, the
so-
thing I love about some of the powers that we see on display in this episode is that you really do get the impression, especially from this episode, that the daughters are more powerful than Dad.
Yes.
That he's not as strong as, I guess because maybe they receive their powers through pure genetics, whereas he is still sort of an experiment. But like, Anissa seems super powerful, and then Jennifer almost seems even more powerful. Like, she's like pure Black Lightning, I want to say. Like she doesn't have like the recharge times that Dad needs.
Well, actually, she does. If you paid attention, when she jump started Jefferson, she was weak for a minute. But I think that's because she's just learning.
Yes.
You know, she's just getting used to him. But she had to sit down for a minute. But you never know, like, if she's really this consistent generator of power.
Yes.
Whereas Jefferson needs to pull power. There's no telling how
Yeah.
deadly she could be in a sense.
Let's talk about, so we get to the final warehouse scenes. Of course, Tobias Whale takes out all the ASA guys, so luckily enough, we don't have to worry about the ASA guys next season. Did we expect the reveal of Black Lightning at the end? I saw it as a general surprise where Proctor walks in and Black Lightning's there with Gamby.
With the family.
With the family. Now, we do get the thing of Gamby shoots Proctor, so that's ends. We find out it's a rogue operation, so they don't have to worry about the ASA anymore. But there are still some people with some pods, and we don't know what's going to happen with them in season 2.
I mean, we're gonna wake up at least one of them, right?
Sure. Oh, I hope that's the plot line of next season, is that we get into some, Black. Let's just say Jefferson is certainly usually on a team in the comic books, outsiders. And let's say that maybe some of those people might be perfect members. I know a lot of people hope that Static is one of those people in the tubes. I don't know.
I think that's the one that's going to be the big. If that's the reveal, if they've managed to pull that off and get the rights to Static,
Big if.
a big if.
Yeah.
If they pull that off, that's going to make everything better because now you can eventually go into a Static Shock series. But we're hoping, and like also with those, you see Tobias gets the briefcase towards the end,
Yeah.
which controls the pods. So maybe we'll see Tobias try to influence them like he influenced Khalil.
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh, see, I thought that was a briefcase full of green light.
I do think
Yeah.
it is, but that briefcase at the same time is what's supposed to be the reason they can get out of the pods.
I also really enjoyed Tobias and crew taking down the ASA, and I thought it was really interesting that now that he's in this position of power as a crime lord, he's just going to take down all these other institutions in his way.
I just want Khalil to get better hair.
Yeah.
I didn't know green light,
not a
whatever,
great wig.
a spinal implant makes your hair grow like the Lion King. This is really, those dreads look like the worst Bob
He's,
Marley concert ever.
He's just, living his best Walking Dead life. I don't know what that character's name is.
One of the, oh man, Carrie Payton.
Yeah,
Is the real
Ezekiel.
Yeah.
Tiger dude.
Tiger dude. Let's talk about what I thought was a smart choice was ending this season. Well, they end the season, of course, with, I think, Tobias Whale. But one of the last scenes is the family jogging again, just like the pilot. And then we end on the porch where when they come up to the porch, Mom is there too.
When they're running and Cress Williams waves at both of the girls, he's just a gift. It's
the way he's doing
so
it.
Great.
And that's going to be the new gif of this week.
It's so silly and so funny, and whether or not we buttoned it with the Tobias scene, which I thought was very interesting, I loved ending the family as a unit. They're all back together. It made me so happy.
It establishes Lynn like, look, this is what it is. My kids are like this. Jefferson, my soon-to-be again husband, guaranteed.
For sure.
Because even when he was still in a coma.
The CW loves a wedding.
Of course. It's going to be an electrified wedding. Like, the kids will power up everything.
They're going to play Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Do you remember?
Yeah. All right. On that musical note, let's go straight in the rating based on a scale of 1 to 5 lightning bolts. Jay, our guest for this finale of Black Lightning, what would you give this episode?
I like how Ashley looked at me and put a lot of pressure on me real quick. She was like, what you gonna do? You know what? I loved this episode from beginning to end. It completed the season, but still opened up the doors for season 2 and beyond. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5.
Ashley, how about you?
I mean, I have to agree. We have had the Legends finale, which was good but unsatisfying, and this finale is both good and satisfying, and has Jefferson being adorable. So there's nothing less you can give it than a 5 out of 5. How about you, Jason?
I think if this episode has any weakness, it is that everything is not wrapped up. And I do think that this episode shows that Black Lightning maybe could have used a 15-episode season. Because we do wrap up Tobias Whale pretty quick.
I would have taken a 24-episode season.
And,
That's my only
me
complaint.
Too. But I'm just saying, like, for season 1, we wrap up the ASA really quick. We wrap up Tobias really quick. Lala
He's coming back.
Yeah, I'm pretty certain he's coming back. So a lot of things are very convenient. But I will say that even though it was very convenient, I still enjoyed the hell out of it. So even though I have some story problems with it, I thought it was emotionally satisfying. I think it's a 5 out of 5. And I gotta say, we've reached the end of Black Lightning. We've given more 5 out of 5s to this season than any other DC TV show. We are sitting here. I'm sitting here with experts, nerd experts, right here, and I'm so glad Jay is here. We're talking about this a little bit more. Real quick, is Black Lightning season 1 the best season of DC TV?
Yes.
I think so.
Because it was everything it needed to hit on, it did. It kept it realistic with a bit of imaginative things you have to have. And it stayed focused and grounded. It never strayed away at one point. It never strayed away from what it wanted to be and where it was going. Everything that it did led to the next thing, which all led to the end goal, which they hit perfectly.
And ultimately, there's no waste in this season.
No.
And like we see in this week's Supergirl, there's often wasted space in these superhero shows, and just on that alone, for the sheer economy of storytelling, it's elevated above the rest.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's no doubt this is the best season of DC TV that we've ever seen, and I'm really excited
Are we worried about the sophomore slump, though?
Nope.
No, because Arrow had a great second season.
Okay, that's what I was saying.
Legends.
Legends had a great second season.
Yeah, the CW.
No.
The
Season 3 is the season to worry about.
CW slump in the third season.
Yeah, that's the third season.
So we'll be fine until season 3, and
then we throw up prayers.
Well, that's when we're gonna finally see Cress Williams in the Afro. It's gonna happen. So go down in the comments, tell us what you thought about the Black Lightning finale. While you do that, go follow this gentleman. Where can we do that?
Find me on Twitter and Instagram at Mr. J Washington, MrJaywashington, and make sure you check out the Trusty Sidekick Podcast. podcast. We just dropped episode 79.
And for more exclusive geeky content, why not check out patreon.com/Jawiin. Join all of us in the Hall of Justice.
Bye-bye, Super Friends.